Death Has a Shadow is a pretty fine premiere episode. Peter goes to his stag party and drinks 37 beers, even though Lois asks him not to drink at all. Then, the next day, at work, Peter is sleeping on the job and lets a lot of dangerous toys to be sent out to the stores. He is then fired and goes to the welfare office to get welfare. There's a mistake, and he's accidentally given a check for $150,000. Doesn't tell Lois the truth, so when she finds out, she's really upset. Then, to try to make her happy, Peter rents a blimp to fly over the Super Bowl and throws a bunch of cash out of the blimp. He's then arrested and is on trial for it, but due to Stewie's mind control device, he is let go. The plot is very confusing here. It just kind of drags. Original Meg is annoying, only concerned with her lip injections, which is dumb. But original Stewie kind of reminds me of Jim Carrey. Same delivery with lines and movements. Quite a situation we got here, Tom and Dee Diane. I Never Met the Dead Man is an annoying episode. Meg wants to learn how to drive, so Peter shows her all the wrong things. So she then fails her test. And then Peter hits the TV tower and knocks TV out for the whole town, and blames it on Meg, because he's such a great dad. Then, this pisses Lois off. Everybody in town hates Meg. Peter, having TV withdrawals, makes a fake TV for himself. Meg reveals that it was all Peter, and gets over it. Peter then starts to enjoy life, but then TV is back, and everything is back to normal. Meanwhile, Stewie's trying to destroy a plate of broccoli because he hates it. I think Stewie's B plot is better than the A plot. Peter blaming everything on Meg is ridiculous, and why does William Shatner show up? I did like the Scooby-Doo cutaway, and the horse wagon race. It's fun too, but the whole story dragged on a bit too much, and Peter's just terrible here. Hey, shut up, Wonka. Chitty Chitty Death Bang is a pretty fun episode. Stewie's about to turn 1, so Lois sends Peter down to Cheesy Charlie's to pay for the party. But he cancels the party and has to make it up to Lois by planning the party himself. Meanwhile, Meg makes a new friend. Her name is Jennifer, and she really creeps me out. But Jennifer invites Meg to a party on the same day as Stewie's birthday. During all of this, Stewie is worried that the man in white will come to put him back in the womb. So he tries to run away, and then plans to kill him. Peter lets Meg go to the party, despite Lois telling her no. So after Stewie's party is set up, he goes out to get Meg. Turns out, the party that Meg was going to is a cult meeting, and everyone but Peter and Meg, who are present, die. The leader of the cult also survives and follows them back to their house. The leader was wearing white, and Stewie ends up killing him with a laser gun. The end. The plot seems like it's everywhere, but in the end, it all does come together really nicely. I like the scenes at Cheesy Charlie's too, especially the game Virgil stuck behind a bus. I think that's kinda hilarious. I want more Peter and West Side Story. Mind Over Murder is a great episode. Stewie is teething and is in terrible pain, so he plans to make a time machine to go back to the time when he wasn't teething. Lois asks Peter to drop Chris off at soccer, then come back to watch Stewie. But Peter stays and gets drunk and ends up punching one of the soccer moms. This puts Peter on house arrest, so because of how bored he is, he makes a bar in his basement for all of his friends. Lois is mad, but starts to perform songs at the bar and gets a lot of attention from all of the guys. Peter gets jealous, and then Quagmire starts a fire unrelated to the argument. But the fire traps Peter and Lois in the basement after Peter learns his lesson. Coincidentally, Stewie's time machine goes off, and it is like none of this ever happened. So did he really learn anything? If none of this happened and it all got reversed, what's the point? Or is this just a nothing episode? Like, he's an ass at the beginning, so is he an ass now too? Lois is a great performer, and it's nice to see Peter's friend group starting to be finalized, with him going fishing with Quagmire and Cleveland. Peter Pong. A Hero Sits Next Door is an okay episode. Peter's work has a softball game coming up, so Mr. Weed hires Guillermo. But then Peter injures him, so he has to find another player for the team. At the same time, the Swansons are moving in next door, and Peter doesn't even want to talk to him. Not even a little bit. And gets annoyed after talking to Joe. Eventually, Peter finds out that Joe used to play softball, so he invites him to the team. Joe then shows up in a wheelchair, and everyone is doubting him, but he becomes their star player and a hero. Peter ends up getting jealous, so jealous, that he wants to impress everybody by stopping a bank robbery. This goes wrong, so Joe ends up saving him. Meg also has a crush on Joe and Bonnie's son Kevin, which feels like filler, and Stewie wants to take Joe's wheelchair. Peter's such an ass here. He also seems more like Homer Simpson than Peter Griffin. Overall, it's a fine episode. The happy robbers are easily the best part, with the improv and that they're proud of everybody at the bank because they're good in the robbery. Holy crap, he's a crapple. The Sun Also Draws is alright. Chris is kicked out of the Scouts due to his lack of interest and involvement. He just wants to draw. But he's scared of telling Peter because he doesn't want to let Peter down. Peter then finds out that Chris was kicked out, so he has the whole family, except for Brian, go on a road trip to New York to get Chris reinstated in the Scouts. On the way there, they stop at a casino because Peter really needs to poop, and Lois gambles the car away. So, to get the car back, the owners of the casino have Peter go on a vision quest, and Chris joins. But then it all goes well, and they get the car back. The casino's a cool set piece. Not enough is done with it here. The Fonz is great to see, but Peter needing to shit goes on for way too long, and it's honestly just not that funny. For an episode about Chris, it's not too much about Chris. It's mainly about Peter, and then Lois for a minute, and then Peter again. Meg is also here, but does nothing. No wonder Chris doesn't get a lot of airtime in the early episodes. His character's very dull and slow and boring. Ayy! Brian Portrait of a Dog is the best episode of Season 1. Quahog is in a heatwave, and the Griffin's AC is out, so Peter asks Brian to compete in a dog show. He agrees, but then during the dog show he stops, as he finds it very demeaning. Peter's angry at Brian, and Brian is upset that Peter just doesn't understand. Then, Brian gets treated poorly by everyone, but Lois, due to him being a dog. He gets kicked out of a shop, and a bus station, and is even arrested twice. And is said to be put down, but then Peter saves him. I like that this episode is actually about Brian being a dog, opposed to the dog aspect of his character being put to the side for more nonsensical plots. You could tell this episode was running short though, because there are a lot of very subpar cutaway gags. But to me, this is the best episode of the season. It feels like it has a reason to be one of the initial 7 episodes, and for being the only one that's actually about Brian, I'd say it's worth it. This is Felicia.